Hi everyone, Leon from Jawas Junkyard here. Just want to do a bit of a showcase on the custom metal ease grip launcher that we're making. So as you can see here right now, we've got the original machined prototype sample that we have. Now during our testing of this, we found that there was a few things that we needed to tweak. So I'll show you off a slightly revised model here, 3D print, just to show you some of the features that we're going to do. So the plan with this is to offer maybe 5 or 7 base color options, and they'll all include a standard complementary accent set of grips, so front and rear. Now I'll also then do some grips with a lot more color options which are available to purchase separately. This keeps the complexity of options down for me. So, and also the shop will send them with just a standard grip set, and then we'll have additional grips to be able to be used elsewhere. Now the idea is this works with all the original accessories. So I've tested, the scope, the side grip, this spring support, which is just a bit of a gimmick, and all the original rubber grips. Now I haven't tested a rubber grip for the front trigger handle here because I don't actually have one, but I'll presume that it works pretty well, seeing as this fits well. Anyway, so the idea here is this works with the standard plastic launchers, as you can see here, and also my custom metal launchers. Now this was a clear prototype I made, so I can actually see the internals, what's happening as I put in the ripcord just for testing purposes. I did a lot of testing on this launcher and still more to go. And because they're slightly like millimeter out of difference, I had to have a set screw to hold it in place. So you can just see a tiny little M2.5 set screw in there. The idea is it'll be a plastic set screw, you lock it in place, and then it won't damage your unit because it'll be a plastic set screw. And then you could swap between the metal launcher or the plastic, or your left hand spin or right hand spin, whatever, it'll work with all of them. And yeah, that's the main sort of features. So this was the first sample we made, and so after machining it, there was a few things that didn't fit completely perfectly, so we made a couple of revisions. So I just want to show you how it all works. So this back plate is a separate part that's screwed on, and then this comes in 2 halves in which you secure this. Now the metal grips I give you, they're going to be magnetic, the front and back. The rear, based on the geometry required to have the original rubber sort of snap in and lock in place, the way we have to do it, unfortunately, is there's some quite complex geometry up and down, which means that it's really not really possible to have this removable as it is. Now I thought about magnets on this like I've got on the grips, but it's actually right where the seam line is. So if we glued a magnet in on the handle, it would sort of, you can't open it up. So right now the way to remove that is you just pop these 3 screws here, take the 2 halves of the launcher apart, and then this will just slide out perfectly. So it's still very simple, it's just not as on the fly, swapping as I would have liked. But as you can see from this, it works perfectly fine with the original grip, stays in nice and well. And as I said before, these are going to be magnetic, so I've just done a sample here to show you. I lock in place, nice and magnetic, and the other side also. Now there was just some testing, I've actually reduced the size just to give a bit more tolerance here, but you can see the magnets are quite strong. It's quite hard to grip, but you just use a simple tool, any prying tool, and you can get them off. And just to show you that this also works with the original rubber grips, you can see, bang, just works perfectly well with the original rubber grips as well. So you've got lots of options. One thing I'll also show you is, let me just put this back on, I'll show you it working with all the original accessories. So I've got another original plastic launcher here, so it goes in like that. Just want to go in my order. You want to get this on, so this, just line it up, push and bang, locks in, scope next. You just take the scope, push it in just like the original you want, and the guard just goes in like that and locks just the same. So you can see here working with all the original accessories, which is awesome. Now, a few people have asked me, can I make it work with X launchers? And yes, the answer is yes. So I'm going to do a separate piece that, as I mentioned before, this back plate, this back half is removable via 2 screws. So I'm actually going to make another back plate variation which supports locking in your X winder or your X string launchers. So it's just as simple as lining it up, snapping it in, it's nice and locked in, and then bang, you can use it. Now, at first I was a little bit worried about having it slightly offset in this direction, but because of the weight when this is all in metal, this launcher is going to weigh basically nothing compared to the launcher, to the grip. So it really doesn't actually matter. I've made a few design changes already, I just haven't printed it, where this goes a little bit lower just to help with that gravity, and also pushed it back just to make sure that this is proud of this feature here, so you're not getting your hands caught in between there, just to make it even better for launching your X. Now, of course, you can, there's lots of kits on the market that swap this to make it work and launch other generations of bays. So you could use an X winder with my grip, with my original metal bays that we've made, or your original plastic gens, or whatever you choose to do. So I think this is a pretty cool comprehensive kit. Yeah, and well, look, once we've made it and we've gone through and we've done some runs, there's no reason why at that point, once I own all the molding, that we can't do other colorways, other additional features, you know, if we want, just by adding different plates. If, you know, there's some other particular popular launches we want to support, we should be able to do it that way. But yeah, thank you for your attention.